Good morning/afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today as we explore a comprehensive overview of drug policy and control in the United States. We'll delve into the historical origins and legal frameworks that have shaped these policies and examine how they intersect with national security and political perspectives. It's a complex and important topic, and I'm excited to take you through its many dimensions. Let's get started. Drug use in America dates back to the 19th century, when substances like opium, cocaine, and morphine were commonly used, both for medicinal purposes and recreationally. However, as time went on, people started to become more aware of the negative effects, especially addiction and health problems, which began to change societal attitudes toward these drugs. This shift led to the emergence of early regulatory efforts, with the most significant being the Harrison Narcotics Tax Act of 1914. This law introduced taxes and restrictions on the production and distribution of opiates and coca products. Importantly, this act marked the start of federal government involvement in drug control, signaling a broader move towards increased regulation as public health concerns grew. The alcohol prohibition era, lasting from 1920 to 1933, marked a pivotal chapter in American drug policy. During this time, the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages were constitutionally banned across the country. The main goal of prohibition was to reduce crime and promote better social behavior. However, the opposite happened. Illegal bootlegging skyrocketed, and organized crime became more entrenched. Recognizing these unintended consequences, the 21st Amendment repealed prohibition in 1933, effectively ending this national experiment. Despite its failure, prohibition set the stage for more structured drug regulations. Over the following decades, laws evolved, culminating in the Controlled Substances Act of 1970. This act created a unified legal framework for drug regulation, classifying substances based on their potential for abuse and medical value, which still guides policy today. Let's talk about the 5 drug schedules, which classify substances based on their abuse potential and medical use. Schedule 1 drugs have a high potential for abuse and no accepted medical use. Examples include heroin and LSD. Schedule 2 drugs also have a high potential for abuse but are accepted for medical use, though under strict regulations. Cocaine and methamphetamine fall into this category. Moving on, Schedule 3 drugs have a moderate to low potential for abuse and are accepted for medical use, such as anabolic steroids and some codeine combinations. Schedule 4 drugs carry a low potential for abuse and have accepted medical uses. Benzodiazepines are a common example. Finally, Schedule 5 drugs have the lowest potential for abuse and contain accepted medical uses, often including small amounts of narcotics, like certain cough syrups with codeine. Understanding these categories helps us grasp how the law regulates different substances. When we look at the link between drug control and national security, it's clear that organized crime networks play a central role. These groups use profits from drug trafficking to finance a range of illegal activities, including those connected to terrorist organizations. This creates a dangerous cycle that directly impacts national security. Drug smuggling also poses a serious threat to stability by encouraging corruption and violence, which in turn weakens state institutions and undermines governance. The ripple effects can be devastating for a country's overall security and well-being. To combat these threats, law enforcement agencies have stepped up with coordinated efforts both at the domestic level and internationally. By disrupting drug supply chains and dismantling criminal organizations, they aim to weaken these networks from the inside out. Importantly, there has been a shift in how drug control is viewed in terms of policy. It's no longer just a public health issue. It's now recognized as a critical security concern that involves intelligence gathering, border enforcement, and even military cooperation. Ultimately, a comprehensive national security approach integrates intelligence sharing, strategic border control, and military collaboration to effectively combat the complex threats posed by drug trafficking and its impact on national stability. When we look at political ideologies and drug policy, conservative approaches tend to emphasize strict enforcement and tough-on-crime measures. The idea here is to deter drug use through punishment and maintain social order by preventing drug-related problems before they escalate. On the other hand, Liberal perspectives usually focus on harm reduction. This means prioritizing treatment and rehabilitation over punishment, and often supporting decriminalization. The goal is to address the root social issues behind drug use, rather than just penalizing individuals. Both approaches reflect different beliefs about how best to manage drug-related challenges in society.